Our guest this morning is a well-known persona up and down the country, talking about Senator Shehu Sani, politician, human rights activist, author, playwright, and he's in our Abuja studio. Once again, Senator Shehu Sani, a fine morning to you.
Morning. Thank you for having me.
Indeed, our pleasure. Well, I did say a fine morning. It is fine because in Lagos, it's a bit damp. It's a bit damp in Lagos. I don't know what the situation is in Abuja, but your picture is looking marvelous. So our subject matter today is assessing President Tinubu's stewardship so far. Interestingly, this is coming on the heels of his recent outing to the United Nations General Assembly. But there are a number of other indices that we can look at, ranges from the economy to diplomacy, especially, against the backdrop of his election as the president of ECOWAS in July 2023. All of that, wooing Nigerians in diaspora, especially in America, where he's just coming back from, wooing them back home, policies, and give me your overview of the president's stewardship so far, how you would score it, how you would judge it.
Thank you for having me once again in your program. Well, the ideal way to assess and analyze or appraise the achievement of President Tinubu is to, first of all, study what he has promised to do and put it in line with what he has been able to achieve, and also take cognizance of the time. If I may not be wrong, I have read somewhere that he has unfolded a 10-point agenda as a policy direction
Yes.
of his administration. Yes. And in that 10-point agenda, he has touched on almost all areas of development and progress which every country needs. If I can go through them from my own little understanding, he said he is going to address the issue of jobs creation. And secondly, he made reference to manufacture and industry. Thirdly, he made reference to digital economy. Fourthly, he also touched on agriculture. And there is health and education, which he all puts them under one stanza. And then he made reference to export of goods, more exports than emphasized on exports than on import. And then he also harped on modernizing our infrastructure. And then he also touched on security of the country, and also giving poor people the empowerment and the economic opportunity they need. And if I may not be wrong, these are the issues which he has emphasized.
Indeed.
In his 10-point agenda.
You pretty much captured it all.
And secondly, now you assess what he has been able to achieve. Well, it is not fair within 100 days, perhaps, to see that you expect him to have achieved all the 10 points agenda. But now it's also good to assess areas which he has been able to achieve and those whom he has not been able to perform very well. In the areas which he has been able to make progress is the fact that his government has been able to take bold decision that was much impossible for previous administration in the last 4 decades to take, and that is the removal of subsidy. I have always been an advocate of subsidy for the fact that it's the only way which the poor can benefit, and also the only way in which the ordinary persons can have some form of relief as far as the cost of living is concerned. But it became necessary for some of us to change our views over the fact that this subsidy matter, we're trying to see how we can find a different way of addressing it, because under the Babangida administration, it was in millions, then it moved to billions, then hundreds of billions, and at a time under Buhari administration, it reached to trillions, and then we were then borrowing money to pay subsidy. So there are a second school of thought that prefer that if we can get our refineries functioning, and then swap from petrol to gas, at least these subsidy issues will be addressed in a different way. And then our economy also couldn't sustain it, and the fact that we keep on paying and then the nation keep bleeding. So that is a decision which he has taken. The fear of removal of subsidy in the past, or the fact that there will be rising cost of living, which of course it has now happened, and then there is also the fear of uprising or revolt nationally against the established order, which we have not seen much from in the last few weeks. So that is a bold decision which he has made.